This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Ryan Daniels. What's going on, gentlemen?
Oh, it's Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day to
Happy
each
Father's
of
Day,
you.
everybody.
Yes.
That's great.
Just came from the school.
Oh, yeah, had the tie. Did
Had the tie.
everyone get a tie?
Had the
Everyone
tie
got a
on.
tie.
Did the shave. You know, did they do that for you guys? They put the
Yeah.
shaving cream on, and then the kids get
I tell you, the
pretend
the
shaving.
shaving cream
Yeah.
took a fair bit to get out of the beard.
Yeah,
It was
nice.
in every crevice.
Yeah, William. That was all William wanted to do. He shaved me
shave.
6 times.
Did
He just
really,
covered,
right?
Yeah, covered it.
And William, how he's got like? Do you do parent helper ever? Like where you
Yeah,
go?
I've done that a couple of times.
It's good to see them interact amongst their classmates.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's very different. They're a very different.
Is he
breed.
crushing yet openly?
As in on a chick?
Yeah.
Nah, he doesn't really pay him any attention. Like, he sort of gives them donuts.
no,
But
That's
they're-
the point. You
yeah.
can still crush hard. You
gives
just
them-
don't give him any attention.
Nah, I reckon he's probably going to chase his sister's friends. He's
Right.
got a crush on one of his sister's
So-
mates. Yeah.
The
Oh,
old-
really? The older woman.
2 years older. He's got no chance.
The old having a crush on someone at school and then not talking to them was just my
it's-
one would.
Yeah.
I used to date a girl, and I wasn't a bad student. I was not naughty, but I got so nervous at lunchtimes because I had to sit with her on the hill.
Was that the rule? You had to sit
Yeah,
with
well,
her?
yeah, sort of. I'd deliberately something up in the class before to get detention. No, don't. It's mate,
Didn't know what to say.
I had performance anxiety over it all. Yeah, so I used to go around. Oh, sorry, haven't seen
It's
you again.
remarkable you ended up with children. Isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I know.
what a turnaround. Hey, you had your draft on Saturday, NFL draft.
Saturday night, evening, afternoon.
And in general, how did you go?
Oh, so they listen to the podcast, the boys too. I think it's a slaughter job. I think it's a. I
As
was
in
at an
you
Oz
slaughtered or you got slaughtered?
Nah, no, I would disaster. I was at an
This
Oz kick
happens every
wind up.
year. I think we've done this every year. You come
Was
in,
it-
you're like, oh, it up again.
I was at an Oz kick wind up at the Sporting Globe. With
You're
the
at a separate
parents.
location.
Yes, people around the world. Yeah. So
Okay.
I don't drink pints.
Yep.
And I was drinking pints.
So-
Mistake number one. Nothing good happens there. Then I just got a bit blurry-eyed and it flicked into auto draft at one stage. I was like, oh, shit, that's another quarterback. And then the afternoon got away from me. Then I had to go host a function with Adam Simpson, Jeremy McGovern, and Elliot Yeo.
So I'm sure that went well.
Yeah, that was smooth.
6 pints deep.
Well,
That was interesting.
if anybody's
Did you
got any
say
footage,
six?
if anybody's got any footage from that event,
No, you don't film those things.
So then we came in here and you're talking about the draft, and then you said you'd stuffed it, and Nick goes, "Oh no, how much money?" And
Yeah.
it just made me feel dirty because that's not what this is
No,
about.
no.
well, I think
So I
when you
said-
said you were into
That's
it
not
deep,
about
I
money,
thought you were
mate.
talking about
It's not about
monetary.
money.
No, I'd rather, as I said, I'd rather give the winner $1,000,
Yeah.
and never hear from them again,
Yeah.
than to have the chit chat in the WhatsApp group
Yeah,
about
yeah,
how
yeah.
shit I
Okay.
am.
As we know, I lost my Keeper League grand
Yeah.
final in just
Yeah, who was
heartbreaking
it?
circumstances.
Cal Wilkie.
Well, there's a few to blame, but Cal was right up there
Cal
on the list.
Wilkie, I'm thinking Cal Wilkie's in your league. That's unbelievable.
yeah. And I played against him, and he scored
And he
30.
beat- yeah.
And Kel the night before the Saturday, I said, I was flat as a tack, and I was like, I think I'm going to lose. I think I've done the math, and she's like, how much money? And I was like, it's not about
It's not
the money, Kelly.
It's not the money.
It's not about the money.
It's the fact you just can go walk. I could just undo your zipper. You walk around anywhere.
Correct. It's your world.
It's your world.
You're the king.
You're the king.
Not
Okay.
when you lose.
Look
you're
at
not.
old Nick down there still looking at his
doesn't get
wallet.
it.
No, he doesn't get it.
No, look, I understand, but I'm just
He's
not.
got this whole like Frio market garden vibe of like chill dude
Yeah,
environment, but
yeah.
he just cares about money.
Yeah, I know.
That's all it's about for him.
It's about the joy and the passion.
You're a
the
fake
rest.
hippie. That's
You
what
are a fake hippie.
I'm somewhere in the middle. I understand.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you would you
I'm a
are-
capitalist.
So what's the hippiest thing you do?
What's the hippiest
apart
thing I do?
apart from the weed.
Yeah. Apart from smoking a lot. But apart from
What am I going to say here?
like, do you
where-
grow your own vegetables or
I do
anything?
grow my own tomatoes.
Okay, yeah.
And pre-children, one of my favourite things to do was just go park on the beach of an evening and read a book.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
pretty,
it.
pretty,
That's
pretty
it.
good. Can I ask those? Do you spray those vegetables with anything, or do you just keep it
No.
organic?
Keep organic, mate. You don't fight the bugs.
Do you
in.
drink tea?
No. More I'll do it lemon and ginger
Yeah, they're nice.
of an evening.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
That's nice. But
Yeah, you can't be, mate. This is a tea man over here.
Yeah,
how
I'm
many
a
drinks?
tea-
How many,
yeah,
how many
yeah.
cups do you have a day?
Oh heaps.
But
Yeah,
what are you drinking though? Like a
Typically an English breakfast.
so
maybe
that's not
maybe an
hip.
Earl Grey.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
One
I'm
of
not-
those ones that just destroys your cup because I've seen some of your cups.
Oh yeah, gross.
It's just-
Remember we had to pull him up.
Yeah.
Oh, you had to watch.
for
That's
tipping
right.
for tipping his half drunk coffees in
Wasn't half
people's
drunk, it
bins.
was just a
Yeah.
little bit at the
And I
bottom.
was like, you can't do that. They clean it.
Just
Remember
a
that?
little bit at the
Well,
bottom.
we fixed that
No,
behaviour.
but
We fixed that behaviour.
I would
Yeah.
still argue that there's nothing wrong with that because the other rubbish soaks it up. Like
What
it's-
rubbish?
like
So
it's-
you're soaking up coffee.
It's only like it's the last tenth of the glass or the cup. It's
more
going
than
in the
I've seen.
bin.
I've seen
Well,
you
you
do
think
a
people
half
are just
job.
putting old bread in there that's just going to
Yeah,
soak up all
absorb
your
it.
All
juice?
kinds of rubbish and junk in there.
Yeah, a couple of rags go in there.
Yeah,
Just,
everything.
I'm going to
Just soak
start
it all
asking
up.
the cleaners. Do you mind if I do this? Is this a
just
problem?
walk 8 meters further and put it in the sink.
Do you know? No, because it's the tea bag. It's a whole thing.
Anyway,
you don't
anyway.
understand. You
All
don't
right.
Oh, so
understand.
busy. It's real
You
busy.
can tell it's
around
been
here.
a
very
boring
busy.
week of footy
Flat
too.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As we slowly tiptoe our way into this.
Well,
Well,
that's-
we all looked at our teams, and I went, I don't know what to talk about with half of these guys. So this could go in weird directions. This could get vibey.
Oh, mate,
this
it's
could
gonna
get
get very
real
vibey.
And don't put the clocks out because there's every chance we don't.
Yeah,
reach
look,
2
it might
minutes
not meet 2 minutes.
on every team.
Yes.
You know, if you're looking for a quick listen, this might be it.
Hey, can I just give you an absolute curveball?
Go on,
Have you seen any of the Paralympics?
I sent a bit of the murder ball.
little
sort of.
bits. Yeah,
How amazing some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Did you see the archery with no arms?
yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I saw the
Staggering.
I
bloke
have seen
swimming
that,
like
yeah.
the backstroke with
Oh.
no arms, and he's holding the teeth. and
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I saw that, and then I went and I was like, that inspired me, so I went and cleaned the pool. Not that I was going to try and swim like. But I went and I haven't cleaned the pool forever. I thought, I'm going to clean the pool. That's inspiring. And then
You tied some rope to the fence.
then the boys were like, "Are we swimming?" I was like, "No, mate, we're not swimming. We're preparing for swimming. That's all it is."
So I mean, the story is, you watch the Paralympics, you got inspired and motivated.
That backstroke was crazy.
and then just
Yeah.
cleaned the pool. That's it.
That's it.
That's
Just to
all
get
it
ready.
inspired you to do. Okay, just to check.
Well, I've got a really sore Achilles. There's not much more I can do at the moment. Anyway. And I've also got to backwash the pool at a certain time of day because there's someone in my street that doesn't like me too much. So
Down the laneway?
yeah, it rolls down. I'm more up the hill, so it rolls down his way.
Must be nice.
Must be
Okay,
very
let's get
nice.
this started.
Up the double view. You guys, who's going?
Okay, well, I'll start. And I have
It's
Sydney,
gonna
and
trip
I
me up.
thought,
This is going to trip me up bad.
well, I quickly thought I don't know what to do. And then my issue with Sydney, let's try an exercise. I want you to both close your eyes.
I could fall to sleep, mate.
Go on, clear your minds.
I'm in.
You're in the clouds.
Yeah.
It's just blue skies.
Yeah.
You're not thinking of anything else. And when I count to 3, you're going to think of something, and I'm going to tell you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. First Sydney play that comes in your head.
Chad Warner.
Amadi.
That's the same for me. It's
Okay.
Amadi. And that's why I'm concerned that they cannot win the flag, and I don't know why.
No.
I like Joel Amadi as a player,
Yeah.
but every time I think of Sydney winning, I'm like, yeah, but what about Amadi? And then I think of, what about Logan
Kick,
McDonald?
6'7", mate.
kick
Yeah, but
nine.
He
Kick
can,
nine.
Yeah.
he can, but he can also
No.
kick none.
I'm with
True.
you. So I had to just did a quick prediction. Who
Yeah.
wins and why in 100 words?
Yeah.
And I just said I have zero confidence in the Sydney forward. Okay.
That's
and
what it is.
I have zero in Logan. He was going that bad. They moved him back.
Yeah.
And Amadi kicked 9. You take that 9 off, and he did bugger all after and around that.
It's remarkable.
So I went with the Giants just with zero confidence of the Swans' keys, and
Yeah.
I've still got an ick over. Is that a new modern word?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, you got the
So
ick.
is it right?
You've got
You got the ick.
The ick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've still got the ick over the 110-point loss to Port Adelaide.
Yeah, it's hard to
And
ignore
people are
that.
like, oh, they're back though. They've won their last 3.
But-
top of my head, it's Collingwood, Essendon, and Adelaide. I think
Yeah.
they're all in Bali drinking bintangs.
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. The forwards
You're right,
concern me.
there's an ick. It is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So
That's the
who
thing.
you got? So quickly, Giants or Swans?
Giants.
To win this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Giants.
That's 3 of
this-
us.
So, yeah, this is the other thing about Sydney, which I don't like, is, and we'll try to keep GWS separate because I don't have much to talk about with them either. But GWS finishing 4th, it definitely chips away at some
Yeah.
of the Swans' chance because they lose that home ground
Oh,
advantage.
massively. It's still the home ground crowd,
It's still
but yeah.
SCG.
Yeah.
It's still the crowd, but it's the travel factor.
no, I agree.
You know, I don't know.
Probably takes a while to drive from Western Sydney.
I still think I'd have
6
it.
hours.
Yeah,
I
they live in
still think
Bondi,
I'd
though.
have Sydney in my 4. Who can
Oh,
win it?
certainly.
Yeah,
I still think.
Whoa,
yeah.
whoa.
Oh, hey, oh,
Hey,
shit.
oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Close your eyes a bit too long on that one.
All right, well, I go with Geelong. So Sam De Koning looks like he's coming back
Yeah.
in. Do you prefer him? Like, do you want him in the ruck or do you want him in defence?
Nah, I want him in defence.
You want him in defence?
I think-
I liked him in the ruck for 5 minutes, but as he kept doing it, I think he started to get a bit found out. So maybe he needs a pre-season if he's going to be the
Maybe.
ruckman.
Not even start. I mean, he rucked against his brother the first time. His brother grabbed the first two out of the ruck.
Yeah,
His
but
brother-
no, there was a couple
but
of
then he
games.
kept
No, he was
going. He was
okay.
good.
He was okay.
Yeah.
And he's
Against
better,
Tim
like-
English.
He's
and
not.
that.
He's not a ruckman at this point of his
No.
career.
And do they need do they want him to develop into a good ruckman? Do they ever wanted a good ruckman?
Well,
that much?
I reckon you've
But
seen.
his brother is,
I reckon
yeah.
you've seen what his brother's
Yeah.
becoming.
Yeah.
And you go, shit, we wouldn't mind a version of
We've
that.
got it to
Yeah,
Coney.
we've got
yeah,
one. Like, can we?
shares the exact same genetic code.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know, but I think Geelong's best chance. Their midfield is
Do you reckon it's like?
is weak.
Do you reckon it's like you have a air fryer and I have an air fryer?
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean that I can cook as well in the air fryer as you.
Well, I
he's
think,
just
I
got
think,
the
I
same
think you better
brand.
say you've got a smoker and I've got a smoker.
Yeah.
And I slaughter mine and you make delicious stuff. And we're
Correct.
in the same
Just
time.
because we've got the
Yeah,
same
you don't know how
brand
to
of
use
smoker
it.
doesn't necessarily mean.
But I didn't think
You got to
it's
know
the
how
same.
to use it.
I
Correct.
didn't think Tom DeConing was good. And when they were giving that huge contract to him, but Sydney
Hey,
went
Sydney
after him
wanted-
hard.
yeah,
I was like, we've got the same bloke here. So,
Yeah.
but
So
I think,
maybe longer term, give it more of a run next
Maybe.
year,
Yeah.
but put him in defence. He
He's
played
a
in
little-
defence in ruck. I think he rucked in the VFL on the
He's a
weekend.
little bit smaller.
he
isn't
looks smaller.
What?
He
I reckon
seems
he's a-
smaller.
Than Tom.
For like a centimetre, maybe?
Don't know, he
they're
just
both
seems-
huge units.
I reckon. While you
Does he
guys,
seem not as athletic or
while you
something?
guys
There's
trawl
something
through the
to it.
last 30 seconds, I'm
It
gonna.
may be I can
There's
buy the
something
not as
to it.
athletic.
Maybe not as athletic.
But he
There's
also
something.
hasn't played in a position which allows you to play as athletically.
Geelong's best chance, I think they need a full back line and a forward line minus Hawk.
Hawking?
Well,
no Hawk.
I've googled Sam DeConing height, and it's come up with 2.04 metres and a picture of Zach Guthrie. So that's. I'm not
pretty
sure if I
accurate.
trust.
It's 204 centimetres.
Yeah, hold on,
Yeah,
let's-
they're big.
And let's
Yeah,
check
I thought they would have been about 190.
They're exactly the same.
Yeah.
There you go.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I reckon one looks a little bit more athletic, maybe.
Definitely Tom's stronger.
Hey, all right, here we go. Now, I'm just going to say to you, what happened in these rounds? Ready? 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 21, 22, and 23. What happened in those rounds?
I got no idea. Lots of stuff. What happened?
Well, there's one thing
What?
that happened.
What?
Someone kicked no
Jason,
goals.
Horne, Francis,
Oh, okay. Three votes.
polled either the most votes in the Coaches Association Award
Yeah.
or the second most votes. I'm just saying right now, in all those rounds there, and there was somewhere you got 6 votes, and pretty low sort of
Yeah.
calendar. But I've done the research on the Hornet, and there was 2 other games that he polled in amongst the muck. Jason Horne-Francis, I found the market, top 10, 350. That's a certainty.
Are you okay with the money? Is
Yeah.
that high enough?
Yeah.
350?
Top 10.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Man, he was getting votes last year.
So you reckon he's definitely going to be in there?
Yep.
Okay.
Zero
All right.
doubt.
I feel like
But
our
that's
listeners are the
10
only.
games.
I feel like our listeners are the only people betting on this.
That's 10 games.
Yeah,
That's
it's not-
10 games he's in the top 2. 10.
And we know that he polls.
And there's a game there
Last year
where
he polled.
Willem Drew gets the 10 and he gets the 8 or 7.
So he'll get it 3.
Who's going to get that?
Yeah.
It's not going to be Willem.
And we
Willem,
love Willem.
yeah.
As we learned
big Willem
last week,
fans.
I said in that podcast around Port Adelaide, I randomly said, I love Willem Drew. I don't know why I said that, but I do love Willem Drew. Port Adelaide, I think they beat Geelong. I think they beat them pretty convincingly. I think it's going to be a start to something pretty special in September for Port
reckon?
Adelaide.
Do you think they can win it?
I reckon I said it 6 weeks ago. They were
Yeah,
my
you
pick.
did say that.
I just see Butters, Rosie, Horne-Francis.
Match winners.
And don't sleep on Sweetie.
Big sweet.
Big Jordan Sweet.
Yeah, don't like no Gorn, no Sherry.
Yep.
So the rucks, the 2, and no Cameron.
Yeah.
So there's the 3 All-Australian ruckmen. None of them are playing finals.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I don't think the rucks are going to be a spot where you're going to get dominated.
Mm-hmm.
And mate, Sweetie, when he came over here against Freo, he smacked the life out of
Jackson Reedy.
Reed.
Yeah.
I think Port Adelaide are going places.
Yeah, that might
Okay.
be sweet.
Home prelim going to be hard to beat at home.
Okay.
Oh, wait, there's more Burgoynes coming, right? But no, they'll get to pick.
Have you done
Yeah.
a team?
Yeah.
Oh, you did the
Geelong.
deconing. You did the deconing thing.
Geelong. It
All
was
right.
kind of like I raised the point and then sat back.
Yeah, you did.
He said 6 words so far.
All right, let's do Hawthorn and Chad Wingard. Up
What?
goes the career. It's all over.
Oh, he's called it.
he's
Yeah.
called
Okay. I thought you
He's
meant he
called
was
it.
like going to be rushed back in to play the final.
No. So I just thought Wingard. I remember him. He's obviously his
yeah.
best days were at Port Adelaide.
And that was what his second year he's All-Australian?
Yeah,
So,
Clarko said if there was one player you could, this is prime Hawthorn too, one player you could pride to your football club, and it wasn't like, these days, don't ever speak about a player from another club.
Yeah.
He said Chad Wingard's the one I'd love at all.
Yeah, he got him eventually.
Yeah.
A bit late though.
Yeah.
So he had in his second year he kicked 43. That's not bad. And then he backed it up again with another 43, and then he kicked 53. He was on an incredible path there, and then he didn't. It's not like injury really struck because in the next 3 seasons he averaged probably 20 games, but he never hit 40 goals again. And he dropped right back down to the 20s. And then for Hawthorn, he never kicked 20 goals in a season.
Interesting to go back and see what happened there.
So,
He was a bit off port. Was it? There was a bit of that going on.
Didn't he try to leave a couple? Wasn't he? Didn't he do the Cozzy Pickett thing where he's like, I think I'm going to go, and then he stayed a couple of times?
I think that happened.
They might have held
Not
him
sure,
to a contract.
but
The Port fans will be screaming, saying yes or no.
I do feel, and it was in our chat before, he seems like Chad Wingard, one of those players that still should be 28, 29.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's gone. He's one of those guys now after he did have quite a few injuries, even through off season and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe
At Hawks, he never really got going.
didn't get going. Maybe one of those ones. If what could have been.
He's definitely. I definitely don't feel like we got the absolute peak version,
Nah.
but maybe that's just because he's shot out of the gate.
Remember when Hodgie put him into a post?
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
That was big.
Yeah.
Was that the turning
head.
point?
That might have been.
Actually, might have been.
That might have been the spinal cord.
That was
Brain
bad.
damage.
Yeah.
That was really.
You know, did he get a week? Did he get a week? I don't think he did he?
Accidental
Oh, of course.
Excellent.
He had a career high 39 touches. Imagine Chad Wingard getting 39.
Yeah. Did you have a little patch where he statted up?
Yeah, must have.
Yeah, must have done.
30 a few times.
All right, Western Bulldogs.
Got through that pretty well, didn't I?
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, well done. Just reading Chad Wingard stats.
Hockball.
Western
Sorry,
Bulldogs.
Hockball. Is that the Hock to spit on that
Oh, it
thing?
has to be, right?
And
They're trying to say
is
that
it
it's
Jack
not.
Ginnivan's?
I don't
I think
Brand or
they're like, that's what I'm interested to see.
Who's making the money
who's
out of
selling
Hockball?
the merch?
Isn't it Ginnivan and Watson there in all the pictures?
Yeah, that's, I think one of them. It's one of their
It's
things.
So
definitely
if you
got to
go
be
to their-
related to the Hock tour.
Hock tour.
Right?
So it's not on the official site.
Is
It's a
it
different
not?
site, is it? I haven't
don't
checked
know.
yet. Can someone get to the
But
bottom
I
of this
hear when
and
they've
send us a
been
message?
asked, they've just said, "Oh, it's not. No, it's just a thing we made up." I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
please,
no.
please. You're
Oh,
trying
yeah,
to
come on.
trying to avoid the AFL licensing department at all costs.
Come on.
Well, let's do a vibe one. I've got a very strong vibe.
Yeah.
This final series.
Here we go.
We're gonna have a massive Ugle-Hagan game,
Oh,
and there's just if I sit back, it's like the same exercise as Sydney.
Okay.
If I sit back and you're like,
close your eyes.
Close my eyes.
Yeah.
I can see a big Ugle-Hagan prelim.
Okay.
It just comes to me.
So he's saying they're beating Hawthorn, and then
think
they're
they-
beating the next
Well,
week.
that's just the sense I'm
Who
getting.
are they?
That they're going to get through.
Well,
they're going to make it to
turn
the
up next
prelim.
Friday because
Yeah.
that might be the only shot.
Well, yeah. Yeah. No, he's going to get through that and get to the prelim and then have it in the prelim. But that's the game I'm looking forward to the most.
Oh, clearly.
The first round.
Saw a
Most of what
video
I
on
saw.
Jamara literally as I was leaving home to come here, and it was a podcast. I can't remember who it was, so I apologise. Jamara sitting down. You don't hear a great
Was
deal
that
from him.
Lace, unlaced?
Could be, and he was talking about how someday he was on an Indigenous mission. So there's one near where I grew up where it's like a community, and he didn't have shoes. So days where he had to wear his mum's shoes to school. For cross country, he didn't have shoes, so he went to Kmart and got like the slip-on slides to run the cross country. And his mate's like, "What are you doing, bro?" He's like, "This is what I've got. Let's go." Like
Probably won too.
They would have won.
Yeah.
But he spoke so well because you just don't hear a lot about a lot of sit down one-on-one chats.
No.
It was the minute and a half I saw was great.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I,
right.
and I can't remember who it
There are
was.
some players who do that, and you're like, "Oh, this would be great. I'd love to hear from them." And you get through an hour, and you're like, "Well, didn't really give me much insight at all." But then some of them are
He
unreal.
seemed like there was going to be a good podcast, and apologies to whoever it was. Melbourne Football Club. I feel like they have been kissed on the dick.
Oh, with all the stuff that's going on. Well, Petrarca's staying now.
Yeah,
I
but trying
know.
to say that's
I
so
know.
weird. I still don't believe something in me doesn't. If it's a release coming from the club
Yeah.
with pre-typed quotes, there's something in me which just doesn't really believe it.
But are we
I'm not all in.
Melbourne haven't won a final for years.
No, straight sets a couple of times.
You go, West Coast are still on their knees.
Mm-hmm.
Richmond have been kissed on the freckle
Yeah.
by players
Mm.
wanting to get out with value.
Big time.
Here is your opportunity to
cash in.
fast forward, because I think everyone in Australia can see, other than the club themselves, they are heading on that path.
I think so too.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And you got Petrarca, who would get 2 top 10 picks easily.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Then you got Cozzy Pickett, who wants to leave or homesick. Bit of grey area around that.
Yeah, yep.
What are you getting there?
Oh, I reckon you're getting a first.
Yeah, you've got your own first. You got those two. So there's 4. They've got enough players that they won't be shit straight away. Like Gorn will help, Viney, Oliver hopefully returns.
May and
Still got
Lever.
May and Lever down back.
Yep.
Like so, you
Van
can
Rooyen,
introduce
got some stuff.
5 or 6 kids who aren't going to get bashed up like North Melbourne.
Yeah, you could turn it
You got
pretty quick.
protection there, and then in 3 or 4 years' time, Max and all those guys who've just signed 3 or 4 year contracts,
Yeah.
they're gone.
Yeah.
And you've got 100 games or 80 games into a draft and the draft after.
Yeah, the argument with the Petrarca thing is if they looked at it in a different way, and I get it why they want to keep him because he's a superstar and club great and all that stuff, but the age profile that he has, the injury he's coming off, this is going to be the peak value to trade Petrarca.
Yeah.
In a year or two, he's not going to be worth 2 firsts.
No.
He won't be because there's not many people who actually are. Everybody says that, but it's not reality.
You got leverage in the contract.
If
as well.
they want to finish
Yeah.
8th, 7th and 8th and play, maybe make the finals, Petrarca stays.
Yeah, but
If you
your
want to
middle
get
ground-
out and then try and leap back up, where Oliver and Petrarca played in the premiership in 2001, was it over here? Whenever it was.
21.
You're not going to do that by keeping the same list.
No.
They're all getting old.
Yeah.
I think they're heading...
But now that window is closed, right? Because Petrarca's staying, so it's really just pick it.
Well,
Not
yeah.
sure.
no,
You still
yeah,
think
so-
he could go?
You,
That's
never,
what I'm saying.
you can't
Do
get
you
back
think
to an
it's
you can't
just-
go
do
back
you
to
think
an
it's
ex-girlfriend. It's never ended well for anyone.
Well, see, I haven't heard from him yet.
There's a month.
Not directly.
There's a month till the
it's
trade
TikTok
stuff.
release.
Yeah, well, that's what I was expecting. That would have more weight if he did an Instagram story. Was like, guys, I know it was weird, but I'm staying.
Maybe he just does a recipe, but halfway through he just
Yeah.
drops it.
Yeah, by the way,
Hey guys, you want to put the flour in now? Bowl,
Couple
I'm
of
staying to Melbourne
ingredients.
and everything's fine.
oh, if he makes cupcakes and then it's like red and blue, like, hey, there you go, I'm
see?
staying.
Pulls out the oven, they're staying a bit of paper.
Who is it?
Who are we on? Is
You,
it me?
Yeah.
Me?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, good.
See, I
Can't
knew
wait
this
to do
was
another
stuff
one.
was up.
Okay, Gold Coast. Daniel Rioli. Hey?
Where are we?
Very keen to get to Gold
What are
Coast.
they
They
gonna
smoking,
six?
they smoking Nick stuff.
First round draft pick.
Did you
pick
see
six.
Did you see the paper? They said Rioli 6 and
20.
Oh,
Yeah,
I saw that.
Nah, that's not right.
I was like, Cyril's come out of retirement, has he?
I saw someone put Ethan Reed in there somewhere too.
Oh,
Oh, they'll get a
mate.
good young. Excuse
Someone's
me.
someone's taking the piss. If they get pick 6, start the car
Yeah.
and get out of there. Don't ask for pick 20 because at some point someone at the Gold Coast is going to wake up and go,
Look,
we can't do this.
He's a fine enough player.
He's fine.
Yeah.
He's in a premiership team.
Yep.
He plays every week.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, really good player.
And he's
Nice-
probably a bit of an
nice
upgrade
acquisition.
on what they've got
Of
in
course.
terms of experience.
Yeah, nice
and everything.
acquisition.
Never been all Australian.
No, it wouldn't have been in the
Maybe in the
squad.
squad.
I think he was in the squad last
Once,
year, or the year
maybe.
before. That first time he went halfback and had a good
I think
year.
he'll probably win their BNF this year. He's a good player.
No, he's a fine acquisition.
Pick six is
Can you-
us steal.
Can you confidently say he's going to win Richmond's best and fairest this season? How much,
Well, I
how much
reckon you
Rich
can.
paper have you
Oh, I
watched?
reckon he will because
You
he
can-
played every game.
You can rule out 38 of them
Yeah,
pretty
that's
quickly.
right. That's the thing.
But I don't know their names. It
I'm
could
not-
be some bloke.
It's not like he had an outstanding
No,
year. It's just that there's no one.
he
else.
just played.
Nah, he was pretty good. Oh, look, it's great for Richmond that they're going to get that. How do we feel like he improves Gold Coast? And I'll throw in John Noble there too because he wants to go there too.
Oh, that's right.
So they're adding 2 halfbacks. How do we feel like that's going to look?
Oh, it's just like adding a player that's not in your top 10,
Yeah,
probably
what-
10 to 15. They'll be consistent.
They've wanted someone in that position, though, right? Because they
Well,
swung
they've tried a
Sexton in,
bunch.
swung a bunch in. So it's
Flanders
like,
played there.
this
Will
guy
Powell
is-
Well,
plays
that's
there.
probably what it
That.
does. It allows
Butterick.
Flanders to not play
yeah.
there.
And you
Yeah.
don't have to worry. They're obviously overthinking that position. Now they can just plug and play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lukosius.
It feels like a very expensive halfback.
Oh, you couldn't give up pick. Do you know what that is? That's a
Desperate.
Weller pick 2
It is.
Yeah.
deal.
Look,
That's we
they
need
don't
it.
know the value
we
of
need
first
ex-
round.
Well, I
Rounders
think
anymore.
the vibe is that they use draft picks differently to everyone else because A, you've got the academy, and B, they've had so many of them.
Yeah.
So it's not like a normal club's pick 6. They
And
treat
they-
it differently.
Well, they're Lombard.
Well, look-
he's probably in the teams.
Yeah, they
that
got
kid,
that kid as
who's-
well.
So if they treat it differently, I'll fly over there and explain to them the pick 6 is still just pick 6 that
Yeah,
everyone's
still worth a
craving
lot.
for. Yeah.
People still want this.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. He actually, he's probably going to help them win an extra game or 2 and it
He
might be up
might.
for finals.
It might be just enough. Yeah.
Speaking about people who probably need to be getting picked, so we'll go to Collingwood. So
You've been on this for a
Yeah.
while.
well,
You
they still
hate the
need picks,
pies.
mate. I don't hate the pies. So
He's
they've
just
got
listened to Kane Corn's podcast too.
is
We
he?
might have a take or two here.
load in. They're going to be a decade in the wilderness. No, their list is good enough now to compete, but they just got to because he talks about Craig McRae at the end of the season. So they said, "Oh, what do you need?" He said, "Well, a key forward would be nice. Myercheck McStavey injured all the time. Blah blah blah." But it's like, yeah, that's fine. But your list is good enough at the moment to win a premiership. Like they don't need. They have done it. They've showed they can do it. They had a weird year. Keep people fit and available. I don't know if there's too much you can add right now, which is going to make more of a difference than the downside of not having picks. Does that make sense?
So you're saying if they have to give some stuff up to get someone who's worth it, it's not going to help them enough.
I just don't know that there's someone who's available that they have the capital to get who's going to improve them more than improve them enough that you find to have another couple of years out.
I'm trying to stay with you.
So
Does that
well,
make-
yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Are you doing a diagram?
No. I'm writing down to go. He didn't play a lot of the year.
That's what I
Mychek
mean.
missed.
That's what I mean. They're good
Danny
enough.
Stay missed. They had a lot of players miss.
Yeah,
You don't need anything.
I don't think they need it. Well, they won the premiership last year. They don't need anything.
Well, but if you can get Hawthorn on the premiership 3 years in a row, and they kept adding every year.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
true.
you can just sit on your hands.
No,
Wasn't-
I agree. But they also just need they have to worry about the bottom end of the list.
I think they're more of a free agent.
just get the free. But but that's
try
not,
and use your picks and free agent your way through it.
Yeah, that's probably the goal, isn't it? But there's
I think
who's
Collingwood's heading to the space where they don't spend a lot of time in the draft.
Yeah.
In the top 10.
Yeah, but then it's going to hurt. It's going to really hurt. them.
Maybe, but they are a destination club.
Well, what do they got? They got Tom McGuan coming through, who's looking.
Tom
like,
McGuan, good name.
Yeah.
Is there another Dacos or anything floating around the market?
Tommy McGuan, he's 16 and he's chopping in the seniors in the
course
country
he is.
and in the coach league.
Yeah.
Of course.
So he's coming through in 2 years.
How's my band going?
Which one's that? Harvey.
Yeah.
Halves.
He might- he'll
Probably
drag
had
their ass
30
back
and
up the
4.
ladder.
Probably had 40 and kicked 9 on the weekend.
Essendon. So just really quickly, Zach Merritt I thought was a little bit unlucky not to make the list. Let's
Yeah.
just go through and make the team. Sorry, let's just go through really quickly.
Hang on, don't ruin my St Kilda bit.
What do you got?
It's just they're all Australian.
Oh yeah, no.
listeners.
So Essendon. So Zach Merritt would play in any team, and
Yes.
a top 10 in any top 4 side.
Yep.
Zach Merritt would.
Yeah.
I don't think they've got another player that would be top 10 in
The only
a
one's
finals team.
Stringer when he's interested.
Nah.
You don't
McGrath,
reckon?
Not touching him.
McGrath,
No.
Draper. Just quickly going through the top
Nah.
50. Darcy
So
Parish
this is top 10 in a premiership
in a
team.
top 4, top 6
Okay.
side.
Maybe Paris.
Sardis,
No.
Langford,
Sardis doesn't play.
Langford a couple of years ago.
Nah.
Not this version.
When he's in his
Hobbs,
that month.
Hobbs about to get traded. Dylan Shield, no.
No.
Sam Wiedemann, has he been
he's
moved
not.
on?
Is he
Is
there?
yeah.
Gone,
Gresham, no. Settleford, no.
Setterfield.
Setterfield, sorry. Nick Cox, no. Ridley, maybe. But we haven't seen the best of
Yeah.
Ridley for 2 or 3 years now.
Maybe.
Ridley 2 years ago, yes.
And then just a run of this. Laverty, Perkins, Goldstein, Hayes, Heppel gone, obviously. 2 metre Peter been horribly out of form. Nick Hinder listed. Sam Durham.
I like
Yeah,
him. I like
We
him,
like
but I
him.
don't
We
think
like
he's top
him.
10.
But do you
He's
know what
11.
I'm saying?
Nick
Like,
Martin?
oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, Nick Martin.
Is Nick
probably.
Martin their second best player now?
Probably.
Probably is, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, so like when they missed the finals and fall off the earth like we saw,
Oh. Some of us predicted.
but who's
Multiple
going to
times.
who's the player on that list that's going to catapult themselves into a potential player who would be picked in a top 4 side?
They
top
don't
10?
have-
They
They
need
don't have
another
them.
Durham.
They don't have one. So the issue is, I would start to look at the player development part of this because if you look, they've had some relatively high picks.
Sardis, Hobbs,
Sardis,
and then that
Perkins,
collection of Perkins, Cox, and
Yeah, it's true.
Jones.
That's the argument is all those kids, all 18 clubs would have picked them in the
Yeah.
top 10
Well,
where
that's
they
like
were
the
picked.
Melbourne thing back in the day where it was
Yeah.
Jack Watts,
Yeah.
Scully.
They're not all
Trango.
duds.
That was the order that any other club would have picked
Jordan
them in.
Gisberts.
They would have picked
Yeah.
him in
Jimmy-
that order.
Jimmy Tompus.
The
Remember Jimmy
Torp-
Tompus?
Jimmy
Tompus
Tompus.
pick 4.
Tompus was pick
Yeah,
4.
ahead
Four,
of
3 or something.
It's a
Wines.
great name too.
Ahead of Wines?
Jimmy
Tomp.
Tompus.
We love
Yeah.
the Tomp.
Imagine that for a name.
I need to do a bit of research on Jimmy Tompus.
I think he's
Where is
chopping
Jimmy?
in the sandful.
He
Is
would
he?
be.
He
Yeah.
might have retired by now,
Yeah.
but he was chopping in the sandful
He
for a
was
while.
same draft as Ollie Wines, I think, because they were mates. I think was that.
Yeah,
the one?
yeah. No, they picked him ahead of Wines, and
That's
Wines and
right.
Viney were good mates.
That's right. Yes, and he
Yeah,
was the
so they
link
could have
there.
had Wines and Viney.
Is this me?
Yeah.
Jesus, it's getting hard. Okay, GWS. I don't really have anything for them. I suppose that the question would be: Is this the peak of Hogan, or is this the start of a run where he goes on like a 3-year stretch where he's a Coleman medalist?
I'm leaning that way. Unless,
reckon?
because people they're not going to put more time, like people put time into Jesse Hogan already to try and stop him,
Yeah.
except for Brendan Cox.
Yeah.
Who clearly didn't.
Yeah.
But there's not like there's another wave of like, he's good now, but we need to figure him out and we'll do that. Like, I think they've done that.
So you think they're already doing everything they can to stop Jesse
I think
Hogan?
he's just reached his peak and he can sustain it for a couple of years.
I
at
tend to
least.
think you're right, and listening to him talk about the way
He's
he
doing some
changed,
extra work, isn't he?
the way he
Yeah.
approached footy differently and started doing a million ice baths and going to the beach in the mornings and doing this and staying back after training, and his missus would be like, "Oh, he's still not home."
Yeah.
Like,
You see people turning that immediately against Petrarca's misses for some reason.
oh really?
There's all these nuffy Melbourne supporters on Twitter and stuff going, Petrarca's misses big time.
Oh, they're
So
blaming-
what's that
she's-
got to do with any of
she's
it?
She
copping the
exists,
blame?
and she's can't be Christian's fault.
Ah,
Oh, for wanting to leave.
Yeah,
Sorry, you missed that part.
Sorry.
I thought you were comparing that to Hogan's
Oh,
preparation or something.
No, just saying like,
Yeah, okay. As you said, it's like you can't. It's like if your kid, he grows up and is
They're
a
getting a
wife,
fight at
and then
school
he stops
or-
visiting, and like, it must be his wife. It couldn't be my
well,
son.
No, obviously not.
he would come and visit.
Yeah, so you
It
get
has to
angry
be the
about it
wife.
on the internet.
And deep down, the son hates him up.
Yeah,
Move
exactly.
on.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't want to be there. It's not the girl.
You inflicted significant childhood
yeah,
trauma.
I reckon we're about to see a 2 to 3 year stretch of the best of Jesse Hogan. I'm so glad we got to this point with him because there was a real
absolutely.
chance we were not going to get anywhere near this.
Can I just quickly touch on one thing for the game off the back of the Sydney concern of yours? Who are the Giants' defenders?
Sam Taylor and Buckley, Jack Buckley.
Probably the two you don't think are going to give up too many
then-
goals to
That's
teams.
a good point.
Thank
Was
you.
that Idun had the best had a game of his life in the finals last year. Connor Idun. How do you say his last name? Iden.
Iden.
I was trying too
Connor
hard there.
Idun.
You were trying
I was
too
trying
hard.
way too hard.
Connor
there.
Idun.
Iden.
Well done.
Who do I hear? Oh, Manish Labuschagne say.
Labuschagne.
Yeah, but it was even weirder than that.
Labuschagne.
There was a in there.
Yeah. That actually was a funny skit on Heine and Fletcher and Heine.
Oh, was it?
They're some of the best operators in the business.
The best in the business. NRL, if you don't know what we're talking
Right.
about, had the electrocution lie detector on them. And so the questions to all the Australian Test cricketers were like, righto, just started softly.
Yeah.
Is the team a better team without David Warner in
Yeah.
it? And then they'd like, no, it's not. And they just zapped the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And then it got to like, all right, Mitch Marsh, do you have the smallest penis in the test side? And he's like, well, yes, so he doesn't get zapped. And then it's like, would you ever consider? Then they talk about Glenn Maxwell's fake teeth. And then it says, it got him from Turkey. And then it's like, righto, Mitch, would you ever go to Turkey to get a penis extension? And like, it just went wild.
It was
And every time you'd expect the answer, just gets electrocuted.
How did they let him do this?
I don't know.
They let those boys do whatever
Yeah,
they
You can't
want.
just get a regular interview with the cricket team. Don't worry about that.
Heine and Fletch, they're bloody brilliant.
That's awesome.
On the,
the other
they're
week-
on the Matty John show.
Yeah, unreal. St Kilda, they get more smoke than anyone by the All Australian selectors. Wilkie and Marshall, who we were talking of,
Wilkie
about,
was never going to make
but
it.
they didn't even
Wilkie
make the
was good,
squad.
though.
Wilkie's dead to me.
But how is
Yeah,
it?
Wilkie
He
cost me a
scored
cut.
32 in a grand final in the fantasy.
But how
people.
does everybody else just get the automatic holdover except Cam Wilkie? You just got to be good enough.
Do
in
you
the second
actually
year.
Start
know?
with his name's Cal.
No,
Yeah, Cal.
are you actually no? You're actually saying that you would have had Cal Wilkie in the team over Wiedering?
I'm talking about squad.
He wasn't even in the squad.
He wasn't in the squad.
He was good.
I
He-
guess.
But
Okay.
the one
But he was
which
never
is
going to make the team over Wiedering,
the
and
one
it
which
should have
was-
been Andrews.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it should have been Andrews had a winner.
We need to,
Rowan
revisit-
Marshall, though.
Yeah, I thought Rowan Marshall was the actual
was
ruckman.
not in the squad.
That was very rough.
So here's his stat. So he had average 20 disposals, 6 clearances, 26 hitouts, kicked 15 goals,
Do you reckon
6
they just?
marks.
Do you reckon there's a chance they just?
Forgot.
Forgot him?
I
Maybe.
often think that sometimes. Did everybody in the room just forget to put him on the list?
Well, it's like the birthday invite that you're like, oh shit, I haven't told my best mate about it.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You coming on Saturday? We'll come and where?
Yeah.
I reckon there's a chance that they forgot.
Well, there's 58 of them on the panel, so you'd assume that they didn't.
Yeah.
Is there any St Kilda representation? Because he's and people go Max Gawn is a better ruck. But he's a different ruckman, right? Because Rowan Marshall's more like grab it out, run.
Yeah.
Where Gawn's your traditional sort of
Well,
up
Gawn
and
gets
down.
behind the pole too.
Yeah,
I love Max Gawn.
I think
This
Max Gawn
was
had a
not
good
an all
year.
Australian year from him.
No.
No, but yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it was a
Do you know what it was?
Sherry, or
I'm
it was
right
Marshall.
about the rucks.
Yeah. That doesn't
No one
matter.
cares.
It doesn't matter.
Except Rowan
Not even
Marshall.
the All Australians. They didn't even care.
They just put Max in.
Yeah, Max Gawn. Did he play? How many games did he play? Threshold.
Who
That's
wrote
a
this name in
threshold.
permanent marker last year? Just leave it. It's
Guys,
fine.
guys, is there anyone else? Nah.
Yeah,
We
any
need
other
to,
rucks?
we need to revisit that video we did around the All Australian.
We're pretty good.
oh, yes.
And so when we said someone like Cal Wilkie and people are like, oh, who are these dickheads? Then we can get that comment and put it up as
Yeah,
Cal
we can
Wilkie's
do
not
that.
mentioned. Because there's quite a few that we got a bit of heat over that just didn't quite make the team.
Yeah, we got a lot of heat for saying Nick wouldn't make
No,
the
well,
team.
we
No,
were
we
a
just said
bit
he wasn't a
ambiguous.
lock.
Is he a lock? We're ambiguous
Is he
around
a
Nick.
lock? Yes.
We didn't say he wouldn't miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he finished with best on ground, which also helped.
Yeah, that's true. He came home.
Came home hard.
With
And
a
hopefully he
wet
comes
sail.
home really hard for the Brownlow now.
Yeah. You.
All right, Carlton. The Sam Doherty talk about returning from the ACL. Do you think it's one of those ones? Sam's obviously had the concerns with cancer, which has
Yep.
been horrible.
Yep.
ACLs as
Multiple
well.
ACLs.
Do you think he's got to the stage now where he goes, why not? Like, if it goes again in the game, I'm probably
Yeah.
done. If I
Maybe.
get through the game, I've got one last throw at it.
Can I ask you this, though? is it the best thing for the team?
Well,
like, are we
thought
just
that.
if we're just talking about we love Sam and we might get a 1% boost from him being there?
I think you get more than 1%.
yeah.
you reckon?
And
Yeah.
I think if you go
You're not
back,
concerned that he's not going to be
You're-
fit enough?
Nah, you're seeing
Nah.
your mate and you're smiling from ear to ear that he's out there
and
with you.
if you go
You
back and have a
reckon?
look at it, I reckon every first game back he's had has been unreal. Like he's had a serious.
Oh, I remember he
impact
kicked
in
that
the-
one
in
against
the-
Richmond, kicked the goal.
Yeah,
Everyone's
he
like,
got 50.
Sam Docherty's really good still.
Yeah.
What about the reality of like just chasing blokes down and being fit enough to play a game of footy?
Well, no, I think he's. I seem to recall every
hasn't-
time he comes back, you're like, wow.
he hasn't
that was
played a
great
game in the VFL or anything.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, that's fine.
I don't
Put
know.
him
So
in.
you'd have to start
also,
him as a sub.
They're not.
Or,
You'd
yeah,
have to.
They're the 8th best team in the final.
Yeah, they're on
so
their
you
knees.
Throw,
That-
have a
that's
throw
what
at the
it is.
stump.
Yeah,
They're
but
on
a
their
month
knees.
ago they were the second best team in the
Yeah,
final.
but they're not.
Yeah, but they've got no players.
Yeah, but they're all coming
okay,
back.
Even put that aside, and just throw all those names in a hat, pull them out, and then what order are you putting them in? They're still 8th.
I love Sam Docherty. I just feel this is a little bit of the old Carltons. Let's get all the names on the page.
No, he's different.
You reckon?
His journey's different.
Okay.
If it was Chera, for example, I'd say no thanks. Like, too big a risk of hamstrings. And you're not... I don't know Chera, but he doesn't have the inspiring lift that Docherty would give him. I
Okay,
would
bring
thought.
him in.
I think that you can bring him in.
Start him as a sub.
You happy with that?
Sub.
Because if he does his knee, he's like, you've
sub,
done your
yeah,
knee.
I'm
sub, I
okay
can
with
do
the
the
sub.
sub.
I'm okay with the sub. Give him
Sam
a quarter.
Fossey, give him a game.
Give him a game.
Oh, it's me again. Jeez. This is the hardest one we've ever done. All right,
I
Fremantle.
feel like I'm going well.
You're going pretty well, yeah. I reckon I'm struggling.
We've pulled
Actually,
something
Nick's
out.
definitely struggling. the
No,
most.
I've had a
Steven's
couple
still-
of them,
yeah,
have I?
yeah.
No,
You're
yeah,
actually
bit of
just what you
struggle.
normally are.
Yeah.
Okay, Fremantle. All right, I want you to rank the names in order that you want to have them. Shea Bolton, Cozzy Pickett. Just start with those two. Go.
Bolton.
Oh, yeah, Bolton then pick it.
Bolton then Pickett.
by miles.
At like how much of a distance?
Miles.
So
Like-
if Bolton's a 10, Pickett's a...
5.
Okay, so he's that far behind.
Oh, seven.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not a big pick. Yeah, you've never really been a big pick.
We're not saying he's a 7 out of 10 player. I'm
No,
just
but he's
saying
a- yeah, if he's- it's
if
on a
wanting
scale.
someone is a 10, that's Bolton is a
Yeah,
10.
no, I know. I think it's still
Okay, now
7.
I'm going to get you to readdress the scale, and I'm going to say, what if I throw Chad Warner in there? Does it change the scale? Is Chad now the 10?
No, I think
Or is it
Bolton's
still
a
Bolton?
10.
Bolton's a 10. Chad's the 8.5.
Really?
Yeah, nah, mate.
Yeah.
Bolton, and people got to get out of the mind of the last season or two in Richmond.
Okay.
It's been a disaster. Well, actually, just go back to think when Fremantle played Richmond over here and
Bolton
kicked 4 or
killed 'em,
5.
yeah.
In a team where I think they had 30 inside 50s, he kicked 4 or 5. I just have seen so many special things. He needs love. He needs to be in a good team. Fremantle won't know what to do. How lucky they are when that ball goes inside 50, and rather than a couple of competitors chasing after it, you've got teams game planning and stopping Bolton deep inside
Yeah.
50. I think it's much different. Whereas Warner,
makes him a better midfielder.
I enjoy
but-
Warner. I enjoy him, but I don't need an extra midfielder. If Bolton wants to go in and do 20%, brilliant.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're playing half forward, you're kicking 50 or
So
60.
this might not be the case, and I don't actually think it is the case. But if it was, and I said to you, if you get Shea, you can't have Chad, you're okay with that?
Still get Shea, yeah.
You're okay with it?
Well, the only thing is, in terms of when we're going to get Warner.
It would be next year, I would
So
say.
what happens if you're just standing at the trough, just holding it by yourself?
I tend to agree. I think if you can get Bolton now, you got to get him.
You got to go.
I just saw the best.
Because
So they got a kid, the best WA in the under-16s. He was all Australian. Tom, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Plays at South Fremantle. Big inside mid from Lake Grace. Fremantle next gen academy player.
Really?
Zimbabwean heritage.
Hey.
So he's coming in a couple of years too. And I know he's a big kid, so I'm not sure what his development will be like. He might be bigger than everybody, but
Okay, Tom something.
Tom something. I'll find it.
Okay.
From Lake Grace.
Okay.
Well, outside Lake Grace.
That
but
five
plays for the
country.
Bombers.
That 5 country.
Exactly right. Oh, it's probably me now, isn't it? Adelaide. Alex Neil Bullen.
Yes.
Is that do anything for you?
Not a lot. But
he's
he'll
a
get
nice
it.
player.
He's
He'll
a
get
nice
a first round draft pick, probably compensation.
As the comp, you reckon?
Well, I don't think he's free agent.
No.
First round.
Well,
No. For Alex Neil Bullen.
second maybe.
No.
Alex Neil Bullen.
Adelaide will give something, guaranted.
Not a first
Well,
round.
they've
pick.
also got to get
second.
So
they're
they-
not giving third.
So
Is
here's
he under
another one.
Does they have to trade him? Is he under contract?
I feel
Yeah, it's
no, he
trade.
must
It'll
be
be
out.
trade.
Yeah,
Surely
but-
he's out
but
if
it's-
he's asking.
Yeah, I reckon he's out.
Yeah, it'll be trade.
But out trade. He's
Well,
been
you-
there forever though.
We
Surely
clearly
he's a free
haven't done
agent.
any research on this.
Anyway, Alex Neil Bullen.
Bullen.
Lukosius is a live prospect. If he's at Adelaide,
Yeah.
where do you play him? Because your forward line,
I want him on
you feel like
halfback.
it's okay. I
Give
think
me
it's
Jack
that.
Lukosius as a halfback flanker.
I think that's what they would need.
So
him
the
for.
tweet is Melbourne Alex Neil Bullen has advised Adelaide of his desire to join the club in the upcoming trade period.
Okay, so they'll have to trade for him. Okay. I like Lukosius as a halfback. I've always preferred him there. They don't need him up forward. They've got enough weapons.
Weapons?
They're building around Thriller and Fogarty, and
Not
they've got
Tom at all.
Tex.
Lucas Robinson.
Keep
Keep an eye on him.
Okay.
Anyway, Adelaide.
Yeah, I think Lukosius is a halfback.
Yeah, you just want him kicking the football.
I want to kick in the footy,
Yeah.
and I want him sending it inside 50. So push it, Blakey-esque without that run.
At times too, I think people are a bit critical of his competitiveness.
Yeah.
I would love to see him at half back every now and then and go, you're playing on the third tall. And
Yeah,
that's your
see what
job.
happens.
Just beat him. Just see if you can.
How old
get
is Jack Lukosius?
He must be 26.
Yeah.
26.
That'd be funny. Not funny, but like remarkable if that was Gold Coast.
24.
24.
Yeah, he's not.
He's
still young.
just turned 24.
Yeah.
That
And his,
can't
his
be right.
coach obviously doesn't like him. No, him and Rankin, same draft.
That's remarkable. There is still plenty of scope here.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
for
he
a
turned
kick like
24
that,
like 3 weeks
He's
ago.
starting to lose the confidence because even when he started kicking it poor.
Nah, perfect time
Yeah.
to change
No,
clubs.
just
I'm-
bring him in, change
You know I'm
clubs.
a coach.
This is your
Oh,
job.
we're getting back
Do
on
this
it.
job.
Let's get back on the train.
Let's get back on the Crows overall, or just
No,
the
just
coaches?
the coaches for now.
But Alex Neil-Bullen's coming there as well. So who else are in? Isaac
Start.
Cumming, Malcolm Roses, and pick 4, which
I
is
like
right
it. I
Harvey
like-
territory.
Roses, I do like that.
Mark, pick 4, Harvey
Here
territory.
come the Crom.
Brisbane, bomb them.
Oh,
Like, what are we going to say?
I'll talk about Harris Andrews.
Well, they're
for 2
going to
minutes.
win.
No.
Oh,
No.
should have bombed earlier.
Yeah, no, I just saw it sitting there.
Yeah, you can take.
Should we actually? I don't think we ever do this, but should we do like selections? Like who's going to win games?
No. We've done 16 teams.
People don't need to.
Why
hear
would we
that.
do that
I don't
now?
know. What is the
We've
finals?
done 15 teams.
Literally got one
Done this
team.
for
each.
We've got one
years.
round each, mate.
We're not
all right,
going
throw it
backwards.
in. All right. Where's the Brownlow tonight?
No.
What are you on?
When's the Brownlow? It's normally on a Monday, isn't
Out.
it?
It's not.
Out.
It's normally on a Monday,
Yeah,
isn't
well,
it?
so one of 52
Bullet,
Mondays
let's
it could
bullet
be.
Nick. When has the Brownlow
Oh no,
ever
it's prelim
been?
final weekend. Sorry, after the prelim
Oh
finals.
my God.
But I thought because they had this break and they do all the medals, why wouldn't they do it in this
No,
break?
they should do it in this break.
No,
they
they
should
should
do
but
it.
They don't. Nick.
Okay,
should.
sorry. So you're getting to me for making sense.
Oh, my God.
Message to all 2 of you at AFL House.
Far
Do the
out.
Brownlow tonight.
Oh my God.
Who are you on? You?
Actually, yes, Nick. The Brownlow's tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well,
Go
then,
home and watch it.
Yeah.
we'll address it in the mailbag.
What
Is it
are
you?
you doing? It's you.
Is it?
Yes.
I just did Alex
No, it's
Neil-Bullen.
you, because I bulleted Brisbane.
Oh, okay. Right. Then West Coast it is. Okay. West Coast. Where do we go from here?
Anyone? Do you want to coach?
So, Shannon Hearn coming back as an assistant coach.
Another
/development
set of
coach.
outside eyes on the place.
Yes. Reports in the West that Woosha might be looking at the board.
Another set of outside eyes on the
Different
place.
set of eyes on the place.
The coaching panel that's choosing
Coaching
the coach,
panel.
fresh eyes.
Are
Yeah.
we concerned that they're not getting enough outside?
I've said it from day one.
But this was a chance to pivot a little bit. And those people, those two that I mentioned, Hearn and Warsport, you could not. Those are two of the best leaders we've ever seen in footy.
Yes.
So they're not just random
if they were
hires.
in isolation.
Yeah, I don't hate those two. I actually love both of those hires, if that's what happens.
I almost like them at it. I like the hires. I don't like the hires at West Coast. But it's like if someone other club came to you and said we're getting Shannon Hearn in, you're like, that's
No,
a
that'd
great
be
hire.
high, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we're getting
So
Woosha
we're getting
to join
Woosha
the board.
Woosha's coming on the board. Oh, good.
Well,
work.
the reason I think Woosha's needed on the board is because they need more football people on that board.
So they got Rowan
Rowan
Jones.
That's it at the moment.
Jan Cooper's a footy person.
Oh, of course, yeah, but she's
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 just
new,
joined,
so
hasn't
they've
she?
addressed that. They've added Jan, and then they've got Rowan.
Yep.
And then after that, it gets slim. I think you need 3, and Woosha now.
They got a
is-
cricket person.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Well, but that actually makes
There's
some
a-
difference
yeah,
because
there's
it's elite
transferable
sport.
skills.
It is
Yeah,
elite
yeah.
sport. But I do think Woosha's perfect for it now, given the fact that he's been working in business separately, leadership and business in a mining company since then. He's worked at multiple clubs, and we've discussed this in the past. He was at Adelaide at a traumatic time after
Yeah,
Phil
yeah,
Walsh.
yeah, yeah.
He was at Essendon after the peptides
Yep.
stuff. He was at
And the
West
bomber
Coast
stuff.
during a whole heap of mess, but also success. He is really, and Carlton when they had the salary cap stuff.
That's
I think
right,
he was. He has seen.
Wait,
every,
don't hire John Worsfold.
Well,
There's a pattern here.
Yeah, but
he's bad
A
luck.
lot of the time he comes in afterwards for cleanup.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
He's the cleanup. Yeah. No, he's,
Forensic cleaner.
Yeah.
I actually like the 2 hires. I do think they need to make from now on no more internal hires.
Dexter.
Just get somebody from the outside.
I don't probably disagree.
Yeah.
Just a fresh set of eyes.
Yeah.
You just need someone.
But also,
One of the open roles.
Really quickly, the coaching one.
Yeah.
Put whoever you want in there. But in my eyes, and I'm just plucking two people we see of, they could be anyone.
Yeah.
It could be Shannon Hearn of any other club, Selwood, Cochin, whoever. Wouldn't you love those eyes in the panel so that when a name gets thrown up like Ryan Daniels, you go, oh, hang on one sec. I
think he's a
I was
journalist.
under. No, but like I was under him for 3 years,
Yeah.
and to be honest with you, he did struggle with
This.
communication with players.
Yeah,
or Joel can go, fuck, actually, my good mate is Joe Bloggs from
Different
the club.
tentacles, different
At the
tentacles.
club, I'll give him a buzz, and you get the biggest
They should've-
endorsement ever.
They should have
Yeah,
put
I
old
know.
mate-
I really
They should
think.
have put old Captain Tent over here on the panel because he's in 8 different tents.
Yeah, this is right.
They could have been like, have
They
you,
say, what about
do
this
you know
bloke? And
anything
he'll
about
just
this guy?
send a
yeah.
text.
I know.
Hang on, I'll send a text.
Well, it wouldn't take
No,
long to
he's
work
out.
out who can coach and who can't.
Let's get him on the panel.
I think so. They should have an independent
got
panel
time.
one.
Yeah.
You just pick it.
Well, I was
Who should we have? This guy.
I've been pretty good with the other
Nicholas, can you finish us up here?
I've just got Richmond, and I have not even written that.
There's
one
no
single
bullets,
thing
though.
down there. Okay, well, how about they should trade a bunch of people?
one. Daniel Rioli should get picked
Daniel
6
Rioli
and
should
20.
get picked
So
6.
if you get pick 6 for
20.
Rioli, you've already got pick
Well, how about this?
1.
If you have, let's say you have 4.
They're away. Richmond are away.
They're away.
You have 4 first rounders. You're starting your rebuild. This is the start of the rebuild.
Yep.
What positions?
At
what
least-
mix
at
do you
least
want?
4.
At least 4. But what positions do you want to draft as your first batch? All mids and a tall, mids and a ruck.
Nah, where they're at, best available
All
talent.
mids.
Just keep going.
Best
Fill up.
available talent.
Like this
Having
is very
said that-
mid heavy.
Having said that, I remember Clarko having an ultimate dispute at a draft.
The big boys.
And a midfielder, the recruiting officer wanted Richard Tambling at the time, I think it was, who was going to be a future Brownlow medalist. And Clarko said, I don't care who it is. I don't care. I just want talls to start.
Yeah,
2 picks,
that's-
talls.
yeah.
Get me the
And
talls
that
There's
was
something
first.
to that.
Roughhead, Franklin, then midfielders after
What if
that.
Franklin had glandular fever or something? He was in hospital not long before the draft. And so he slid a
Sure.
bit.
One of those ones.
Yeah, we just go to hospital, man. You're real sick, by the way. That's the funny thing out of that Kane Corns interview as well, where he's watching the draft and there was an argument before his pick. Choco was arguing with the rest of the team. And he's like, oh, what? And then they picked him. And Choco called him afterwards. He's like, I didn't want you there. I wanted the other bloke.
Oh.
Oh,
And they ended up drafting him. So he's like, just to clarify, I was arguing against you before we picked you. Welcome to Port Adelaide.
jeez.
Yeah.
Oh. That's unfair.
No, said it. But they got his pick, his guy at the next pick anyway. So it's fine.
Choco, he ran like the last 100 metres of the 2K time trial with me at draft camp. I must have been going backwards. I still remember it. And then
It's like the kid at Auskick,
Yeah.
the last kid, and everyone joins in to
I
help.
reckon they had something like pick 8 or something. I can't remember. It might have been higher, actually. But, further back. And we're doing a drill. I still remember it. And I just sold a little bit of candy. That was it. And Choco turned around to the recruiting blokes and they went, no,
dice.
he'll be gone. Don't waste your time with
as
him.
in, hey, can we get this
Yeah,
kid?
don't waste your time. He'll be gone.
He'll be gone
I
by
thought,
then.
I thought that was a bit of a showboat. We don't want that kind of character in our club.
But I still remember it, and that was like because it was the same day that he ran the last little bit of the race.
He liked you.
No. I honestly just think
Yeah.
he was standing there and saw. Like, we just won the TAC Cup flag on the Saturday. This is a Monday time trial.
Yeah, okay.
You reckon I was full of piss?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, that's
right,
us.
that's
no,
us
I'm
done.
saying a bit of respect.
What?
North Melbourne.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right.
Didn't you start?
Oh, no,
Well,
you
you
started.
started.
This is why I said this was
Yeah.
going to get us.
All right, North Melbourne. So I just wanted to see when Harry Sheezel was contracted.
You could
to.
have just let that one go.
No, I
through.
don't want to. I want to respect the Kangaroos.
What do you get, a 7?
No, well, yeah, so he's 2030, and it was after 30 odd games he got to 2030 Sheezel. I was like, great.
Okay.
Then it made me get back on my horse about long-term contracts. And there's a coincidence going around with long-term contracts, and I want to know how you think they're going. So Petrarca?
Yeah, well,
Once out.
Staying now. Apparently.
Yeah, Petrarca.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Barras?
Yeah, not good. Yeah.
Bolton?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Cozzy?
No.
Not good at all, no. Where's Clary?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's there. But
He's there.
He's still there.
So then I did a little bit more research for the long-term ones. Do you reckon they've had a better year since they've signed these long-term contracts,
Okay,
or do you
go.
think they've fallen off the pace a bit?
True.
2030, Brennan Cox.
No, he's a worse here.
Falling off the pace.
29, Soligo.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
29
since he signed it.
29, Rochelle.
Yeah.
29, Jacob Hopper.
Yeah, no.
29, Callum Mills.
Jacob Hopper, 29.
No, this is what year they're
Yeah, I know.
contracted
What did it
to.
come
Mills
out?
been
Simkin, 29.
Yeah, no.
Simkin, 29.
Well, he had a good finish.
How old is Jai Simkin?
Yeah, Amos, 29.
He's fine. He's
No, he didn't have a big year, though. Get off.
Yes.
He was fine. He's contracted.
fine. He didn't get better.
He didn't get better.
I wouldn't be regretting the contract.
No, but he regressed.
Okay,
He
yeah.
certainly regressed.
Sure.
Jack Payne.
Jack Payne?
He got
29.
good on you, Jack Payne.
2029.
Hats off to Jack
I
Payne's
haven't double
manager.
checked that because I hope it's right.
He's a good, solid player.
Well,
He doesn't get 6 years.
He might be on like 180 grand a
yeah,
year.
maybe that's it.
So when I saw-
75 and matches.
But the long-term contracts, and there was a couple I've skipped there.
Hey, what do you
Brett
think
Daniels,
about-
2031, sorry.
That was
Sean
Rosie,
Darcy.
32, Blakey, 31. They've
Some
all
good
had
ones.
big years. Yeah.
Multiple reports about Jack Darling, North Melbourne might have interest.
Yes, I did text someone there, and they said, yeah, we're chasing a forward or interested in a forward.
So it's legit.
No, I don't know about that. I didn't,
Okay.
but it was more that's the position they need help for Nick.
Well, they
Larkin.
do. Clearly. I think we said that we talked about this a month ago.
Is he going to be interested in
Jack,
general?
if he had
Depends if he gets him
2 years.
another year.
Yeah, I
because he's got
suppose.
1 year left on the Eagles deal.
He's
If
gonna be done.
North's going to give him 2, you're going to take it, depending.
There'd be no trade value either way, though, would it?
Oh no! It would just be a here. You
Would
take
West
this.
Coast have to pay part of the contract?
Well, I don't think they would want to.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
they'll
what
say
sort of
you're
money
taking-
would
They'd
Jack,
be on very good money.
Jack Wood?
Yep. Yep. It's the
But
end,
North
it's the
aren't
end of a
paying
good
anyone.
deal.
Tarrant Thomas will come off the books this year, I think.
Oh, true, yeah. that was-
I don't think they've got a great deal of salary cap.
All right, let's go.
That's us. Wrap it up. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you again tomorrow for the mailbag.